Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we are merely role-players, where theatrical people play role-playing games. Hi, I'm Matt Boothman, and I'm your compere for this studio production. Here on Merely Role-Players, what we do is we improvise stories to entertain you and sort of to entertain ourselves. And we use role-playing games to keep those stories going places even we can't see coming. Because as theatrical people, we're all about maximising the drama. In this production, we're playing the beta version of Court of the Lich Queen by Ursidice, with guest players Fiona from What Am I Rolling and the DM's Book Club, and Naomi from Who Lives Who Dice, Realms of Peril and Glory, and The Secret of St. Kilda. So please take your seats in the studio. Tonight's production is about to begin. The Queen's Dead. A Merely Role-Players studio production. Act 2 of 3.
I get up, realising it's possibly my turn. I slowly go down, and I sort of look to my two colleagues. I appreciate the concerns of both of your realms. But in this case, I must take care of our own. We will be focusing to make sure the sky does not fall on our realm this time, but we will be considerate of the oncoming storm of the dawn. So do not worry, my dear brothers and sisters and non-binary folks. I will be ensuring that we will commit ourselves to the cause at the next court. But for now, we must look after ourselves. Because you will understand.
You cannot allow this to stand.
The sky, I literally have a roof over my head that is slowly crushing all of us. You must understand.
You think I don't mourn the loss of bodies upon bodies that go to Logvik the World Eater? But what have you to contribute? I hear my spies come back from your land, and they tell me you are devoid of resources. Only I can carry us through into the next midnight sun. Because dawn will come.
Please, honoured representatives, we must have order in this court. We lament this terrible breakdown of order.
Lament away. Some of us have actions to complete. I am offering flesh and iron, which I believe are the two things written in prophecy. You can stop the sky from falling, but once the dawn arrives, will it even matter?
What would you offer me to help in this matter? You see, the sky falling is quite precarious, my good friend.
You know what's precarious? Your bony pelvis upon that bony throne. I offer you the chance to survive.
No.
Beyond this year, you short-sighted fool with your eyeless pits.
I did not come here to be insulted. I
Then
thought
why did you
to
come?
let you know what I had planned, but as you're not offering me anything, I turn to my other colleague. What say you? Would you offer me anything to help this ritual, rather than look to my own realm's needs?
It is the position of the Wraithlight Dominion that it's just like the Skeletal Duchy to think of themselves first. It speaks to a long pattern of selfishness, individualism within this body which was formed to be united under the gaze of our Queen. The Skeletal Duchy was not even grateful for the great gifts offered them by the Wraithlight Dominion. Gifts.
I said I would listen to the audiobook when I got a moment. I've even put it on ×2. It's very long.
Ungrateful skeletons do not even know which gifts of which we speak. The gift of the sky itself in the form of the bony bird, the skeletal avian.
Is that thing still rocking around then?
Yes.
You hear a massive caw outside of the court.
Oh, you brought it with you.
I couldn't leave it, could I? The sky was falling. The last thing I want to do is for that bird which doesn't have a brain, to have a broken skull instead.
We gave you the perfect pet for a time when the sky is falling. A bird that cannot fly does not need the sky. What need has the Skeletal Duchy of a sky?
We need it to live. No, master. Clearly, my resolve has been set. I will attend the Skeletal Court this time. Best of luck, colleagues, with your own endeavours.
And I will go and turn and go hover by my throne of bones.
If there are no further comments, grievances, tributes, or debates to be proposed, this session of the court will proceed to the enactment of will.
Enact your will, Spectre.
So it will be by the will of the Lich Queen.
We have picked our moves. We have all decided what we're doing for this session of court, so now it is time to roll the moves and see what happens.
Just for clarity, I intend to take the realm move Unity in Death. When you unite your people in the realm to resolve a natural crisis, which is what I have, you describe how you inspire them to act and then roll versus stability.
I'm doing a sacrifice of flesh and iron. So there. When you engage in ritual combat to appease the god of death, spend magic and reduce flesh and iron by 1 or more. And I roll plus might.
And I am planning to whisper to the endless places, to break the barriers between the lands of dead and the living, to sap the power of the god of death.
Okay. I'm going to roll plus might.
Nice and simple.
And I am getting a +1 for moving my iron from prevalence to scarcity.
Okay.
Keeping it so we still have some. But, that's the price. However, my might is +3. So it's +4 total. So that is 15.
Whoa!
Bloody hell.
In that case, I'm going to make 2 marks against the ritual.
Amazing.
Oh, very cool.
Listen, we've been practicing flesh and iron blood combat for so many years. It's really kind of like...
That's all you ever go on about when we do the luncheons.
Yeah. So I think that that there's like the visual representation is the reddening and yellowing of the sky as the sun begins to rise. And so we can basically see the shadow of the sun already rising over the horizon. And there's like a time lapse of just Draugr, just like fucking piles of Draugr, waves of Draugr smashing against each other. And there's cuts of them just like stabbing and beheading and ripping each other apart. There's Draugr like arcane users who are standing over it, like all basically like in a large ring, and diverting all of the like blood and flesh into a large stream that reaches out and forms a hand that pushes the sun back down.
Metal as hell.
So
Thank
cool.
I'm going to make my move next because I'm also trying to be selfless and help us all save off the dawn and not being a selfish skeleton. Not the stereotype.
Me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama.
The frozen, ghostly necromancers of the Wraithlight Dominion gather and conjure a great ice spike.
For fuck's sake.
I know. We got one move.
We've got one trick.
Thing.
Yeah.
Singing and spiking.
We've got an aesthetic. They sing and weep at pitches that crack the ice in the shapes of arcane runes that spiral around it like a great magical ice drill.
Very good vibes. I'm into it.
And drive it into the veil between the living and the dead to siphon power from the god of death themselves. I am spending magic.
Oh.
And I roll plus death, which is all of my good stats, plus 2. 7 on the dice, plus 2 is 9.
Ooh.
Not as good as the Draugr managed.
None of you will ever be as good as the Draugr. And that's fine. But I will be holding this over you at the next call.
Next meeting, yeah.
So on a 7 to 9, I get to pick one option. I can make a mark against the ritual, increase hope, mark abundance in flesh, or take +1s on my next moves this year.
Ooh.
Flesh is useful for this year's ritual. Hope is good. I'm going to make a mark against the ritual. I think that's the way to go.
I don't know why everyone was worried.
We're now halfway to a successful ritual for this year. Unlike, this spike has not been in place long enough for the feedback to begin. And won't need to be in place for that long. And why would you think that just because it happened the last time that it would happen this time? We've learned! As arcane power pours, fills up the ice spike, turning it from translucent greenish blue to a deep blood red.
Ooh.
Nicely, Matto.
Meanwhile... we go, maybe the Skeletal Duchy is in between these two realms. Always amazing things is happening, and in the middle, you see a lone figure trudging back to like a high point, probably the destroyed flange, and looks down on the skeleton civilization, those who remain here. So collectively, the Skelly boys and Skelly girls and Skelly pals. People. It's time to show off our party trick. Pyramid! And everyone will sort of get together and start building up on it. So by basically human acrobatic on one on top of each other, using possibly the the metatarsal for assistance to push them up. And basically, we're going to try and push the sky back up. I like the idea that it's bowed slightly, so it's almost as if there's water coming through. So we're just going to push it back up. And hope
let the water fall off the edge.
Yeah.
Like a tent.
Exactly.
The caravan awning at best.
So I roll versus stability. I don't think I add anything to it.
No, so with a roll versus stability, you roll 2d6 and just compare the results to your current stability.
All right. Ideally, I want to roll exactly, but I think that's unlikely with a 3. It'll be fine, so I'm going to roll. Oh, that's a 5, so I roll over. So I make a mark against my crisis, so that's great. And then I pick one of the following. I can either reduce my stability by 1, damage a bastion, or reduce a resource to scarcity. I think I am going to damage a bastion. I assume if I damage, because they're both damaged, the ones I have remaining, so if I damage it again, it's destroyed, correct? So I think what happens, we do the ha, 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 human acrobat push, and as we do so, an actual bit of the sky does fall onto Flange, and it just
No.
flattens. Fenix gets out the way, like, what? Darn. Well, that's okay. We still got our polished bone tower, voted number one in the land.
Every year the skeletons are like, and we voted on this year's bone tower, and it's ours.
Exactly. So so that's 1 against my crisis.
1 out of 3 to resolve your crisis. Now that we've all made our moves, the waxing court is adjourned, and our crises evolve.
Oh no!
Like a Pokemon.
I just fixed that.
My arcane and draining crisis evolves, which means its effect is applied again.
Oh no!
So I will reduce magic by 1 again because it's arcane. And I'll reduce a resource by 1 again because it is draining. I now have scarcity in earth, ice, and silver, and nothing else in terms of resources. And you get to tell me how the evolving crisis of the spike that I drove into another realm to drain its power, how that affects and changes my realm.
I think that your magic, because it's decreased and there's now like magic flowing through the earth, your realm is actually starting to warm.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Like the ice is starting to melt. It's more like floating ice shelves in water.
Oh god, yeah.
So undignified.
Yeah.
When we're all frozen spirits in beautiful fractal caves,
Yes.
that's very eldritch. But like frozen spirits in floating icebergs.
And also drip. It's getting drippy.
It's like a really rubbish version of the Coca-Cola advert with the polar bears, but
Yeah.
you just sat there like with your own tears, like
Oh, we're becoming the realm of slush.
oh, no one will visit that.
The Skeletal Duchy.
Yeah, so I guess that happens to me again. God damn.
Yeah. So damage.
Yeah.
Damage a bastion of your choice by 1.
So metatarsal.
No.
I think I'm like, jobs are good, and yes. And then you just see that the shoulders crunch as slowly the whole thing starts to fall. So then it's just the arms start to go as bones start to fall off it. And then eventually the skull goes through the sky and it's just lost in grey. And we're like, well, shit. So that's that gone. So I have no more bastions, which is sad.
Also, the natural effect reduces your stability by 1.
Oops. So that's now a 2.
We decide how the sky falling gets worse for you.
Beautiful.
I wonder if we said it was bowing in the middle, like
Yeah.
some sort of liquid was going to come through it.
Yeah.
My realm's already got wet and slushy and watery.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's not water that's coming down through the sky.
No.
I think it definitely splits and stuff starts coming through it. But like, what is it?
I think it's blood.
Oh no!
So your beautiful white skeleton tower, it's
Oh.
now a large blood waterfall.
We just got our new grey palette in. Damn
Yeah.
it.
Oh, colour, no!
Wow.
Beautiful. So it's raining blood.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hallelujah.
Finally, the poor old Draugr Earldom
Logvik the World Eater.
continues to munch
Yeah.
as damage. Damage is a bastion of your choice by 1.
He's going to destroy my last bastion.
Oh no!
Yeah, Logvik, from being kept in the stomach of our large corpse that is our home, he has swelled in size from all of the eating. And over the past couple of months, he's been working his way from the feet up like a big snake, and he's just finished swallowing the entire body.
Oh.
And so now there's this dent where there used to be a large corpse. And I get 2 more effects.
Yep. So also reduce your stability by 1 or reduce a resource by 1
Okay,
for the natural portion of this crisis.
that's fine. I shall reduce ice.
And this is also a violent crisis, so reduce your stability by 1.
Hooray.
Brutal.
And that is a court of the Court of the Lich Queen.
Good, I want to come back and argue some more. Fuck these guys. Let's fucking go.
Let's go, yeah, let's do it.
I'm ready to fight.
Alright, lovies. It's me, Matt, your compere. While the players are getting ready for the next scene, why don't you and I take a look at the programme? Elsewhere on role-playing games internet, I played a snake who is also a lawyer in a game of I'm Not Lion, a role-playing game / party game kind of thing by Maddie Searle, who also ran the game, on the Actual Play UK Twitch stream this Friday just gone. The game has a mechanic where you can get bonuses on your rolls based on the number of animal puns you make in your legal argument, and between us, we kind of broke Maddie's game by making too many puns. The we there meaning a who's who of UK actual play people from Realms of Peril and Glory, Modified Roll, and Trolls of the 2-Ton Bridges. If you missed watching the game live, then assuming that you're listening to this the week of release, you can still catch it as a video on demand on Twitch at twitch.tv/actualplayuk. And after that, it'll go up on the Actual Play UK YouTube channel, which you can find just by searching YouTube for Actual Play UK. I won't give away here which side actually won the case, you'll have to watch the game to find that out, but I can give away that the case involved Blowhole Joe, a dolphin who stole the identity of a walrus. Speaking of extremely highbrow, high-quality role-playing game content, you can still vote in the Crit Awards, that's the Creator Recognition in Tabletop RPG Awards, until the 9th of July. This is my last opportunity to remind you on air because we're not having a backstage episode next week because there wasn't enough backstage stuff from this game. We are nominated in Best Storyline in an Actual Play and also for Best Non-Player Character for Ernie Bering, Agent of Doom. If you haven't been staying current with our main house production, Vigil, where Ernie is from, we've posted on Tumblr and a thread on Twitter explaining just who the guy is so that you can make up your mind whether you think he is indeed the best non-player character. So that's 9th of July, the deadline for voting, and then winners will be announced at Gen Con in August. If you're going to be there, go to the awards ceremony and see it live, or if not, it'll be streamed live on Twitch as well. I won't be at Gen Con, so I will be watching on Twitch with the rest of the UK, with my fingers crossed, and my toes crossed, and my legs crossed, and everything crossed. As I said, there won't be a backstage episode next week, so we'll just be back in 2 weeks' time with the third and final act of The Queen's Dead. Finally, just before we close the programme, I mentioned Realms of Peril and Glory earlier. Maddie and Zach from that show were on the I'm Not Lion stream, playing, well, Maddie made the game and was playing the lion judge and various witnesses, including a shark and a secretary bird, I think. And Zach from that show was also my colleague on the prosecution team, Ernest Walton the Warthog. And of course, Naomi, who you're hearing right here on The Queen's Dead, is also a Realms of Peril and Glory regular. And so, of course, here in the programme is an ad for that show. If those glowing personalities being involved isn't enough for you, here's the ad that's sure to convince you to give them a go.
Welcome to Realms of Peril and Glory, an all-new actual play podcast.
There are guided tours once a week. Come on, Dor Brennan.
How about you filthy timepiece?
RPG is home to hilarious
The
stories.
thing that kicks off a really good tale is,
When they take their tops off.
Sorry?
When you're reading, like, don't worry.
And thrilling adventures.
There's bad guys, there's an ogre. Probably best if you stay here. Sorry, I'll be back soon.
Why am I tied up?
That was your sibling, not me. Bye.
Each season is an all-new actual play story told collaboratively at the table, featuring guest players from the Magnus Archives.
I remember being in the water, and that was awful, and now I'm not in the water, and that's much better.
Wooden overcoats.
I am a snowman. I have one job, and that is to stand in place. I was doing that very well.
Yes, and she might come back 9 times more powerful with lots of food and kippers.
We fix space junk.
On the surface, you might look different, but you're very, very similar inside. And I can vouch for that.
And more.
What I am about to tell you stays in this room. Got it?
You don't happen to know where there's like secret plans about meat and smoothies?
Ducks? Did you say ducks? Did you say ducks? Did you say duck?
You can find Realms of Peril and Glory wherever you listen to podcasts.
We're gonna have a good laugh, then we're gonna possibly cry, and then we'll grab dinner.
Now, please take your seats once again in the studio for the rest of The Queen's Dead, Act 2.
You were selfish.
The sky is now raining blood.
Oh, raining blood, you're lucky.
Order in the court! We must observe protocol even in the face of these terrible events as we reach the final gibbous court of the Lich Queen.
Skeleton, tell me how you've progressed with your selfish aims.
Fenix is a colour of rosé because they've not been managed to have a good bath for quite some time.
There's all the blood.
Well, good news. The sky is stable. For now. But efforts must continue. Unless any can convince me otherwise, I will continue to hold back the sky. What do you plan, good friend Draugr?
Draugr comes and just like pushes you out the way.
Oh no.
Fearful Queen, we have been so successful. We have compounded glory upon glory, flesh upon flesh, blade upon blade. Our ritual is greatly successful, pushing back the dawn by about 2 out of 6, like 1 out of 3, which is still not like a C grade, but it's still pretty good, based on like how we're doing. But you know what, we're technically passing because they also did a thing, and now there's like 50%. So we have suffered. We have suffered as a people. Our great halls, our burning pyres, our skull throne has been eaten by Longvic the World Eater.
Oh no.
He started with the toes, which we all thought was kind of fucked up. And then he just worked his way up, but not like in a cool way, like in a he ate a home kind of way. And now, here we are, homeless, but drenched in glory for our queen. Unlike some people that we could mention who did a mediocre job or fuck all.
I go back to my throne.
The Wraithlight Dominion's side of the council chamber is just increasingly wet There's the constant sound of trickling of like water running down the chasms, and it's now got like bits of slush in it as sort of other
Two
minor
interns with mops.
Yeah, other minor courtiers of the Wraithlight Dominion who were previously sort of arrived in blocks of ice are just melting at the side of the council chamber. Lacrimine was already about the wettest it could get, so it seems pretty unaffected, but there are definitely some like little bits of ice flow and slush floating in the barrel with them now.
In my position as unhallowed sanctioner, which I continue to accept with sorrow, I call this session of the Gibbous Court of the Lich Queen to order, and request that the honoured representatives present their schemes, plans, and rituals planned for this, the penultimate court before the prophesied coming of the dawn.
I wait to be pushed out the way.
Friends, enemies, and those who have yet to decide.
Still great.
I have pondered much, and I heed the words of my Draugr colleague and also of the Wraith. I am willing to honour my word from last session. I am willing this time to contribute towards the ritual. I will spend some time. We are abundant in our magics and stuff, so we will create an artifact, and that should help somewhat with the ritual.
Is it going to be made of bone?
There's a pause.
It is not for me to say what it will be made of.
So it's fucking made of bone, you people.
But yes, it would be a bone. One of our most delightful bones.
Fiona, tell me, which is the most delightful bone in the body?
The funny bone.
Very humorous.
Indeed, the most useful and almost obscure thing it would be. We read about it in our lore that it's called the tennis elbow. So we feel that this mysterious symptom, this joint, should help us conquer it. We have not discovered why or how, but that is not for us to question. So that is what we will do. We will give our assistance to this Gibbous court for helping with the ritual, unless people can convince us otherwise. We do have a leaking roof at home that does need attending to.
I think you look better in pink. Pink is the new black, you know.
And goes and doesn't even sit down at this point. Just a good step two away from the throne, knowing the time is short. But yes, so Skeletal Duchy is going to be using their playbook move called Arcane Engineering. When you stoke the withering forges and throw ancient relics into the fires to create an artifact, spend magic. Describe how you imbue this object you create with power and roll plus lore. I sort of turn to my colleagues and go,
I help.
Yeah, better late than never. Fuck.
One has to look after their own. What's happening with your wonderful realm? How is the World Eater?
Fat.
Frioch, the rotting hand of the cataclysm, shambles forward, gets on his knees and crawls towards the Lich Queen in deference and prayer.
My divine creature. My insatiable force. The Draugr Earldom commits to tell of death or glory. We will do nothing that will not bring us renown. and for the many years to come.
And I look at the barrel with hateful conduct.
And so, we shall take it into our hands to bring the body of Logvik the World Eater to our next court.
And I am doing a Tale of Death or Glory, where we're going to risk everything to solve a crisis.
Wow.
So I reduce stability by 1 and make a mark against the crisis. Describe how my actions are worthy of song and roll plus lore.
The unhallowed sanctioner takes the floor, crawling once again from the barrel, slithering across the floor, narrowly avoiding a new chasm crack, and also, as well as the puddles of melt water, there's now, the small rosé bloody footprints of skeletal feet.
Yep.
It is with the greatest regret that the Wraithlight Dominion announces the intention to seek deep in the ice labyrinths below our realm the lore once thought lost, the final frozen song of our fallen champion, mourned by the Wraithlight Dominion and the Draugr Earldom alike. The lawkeeper, the librarian sorcerer, knave. That great knowledge, we believe, may hold the key to staving off the door. And we invite all realms to contribute their greatest adventuring champions to join this deep and dangerous quest. We lament in advance their glorious, lamentable deaths.
And I am proposing the court move, Delve into the Darkness, which includes Court of the Lich Queen's quest minigame.
Yeah.
Are there any arguments, debates, grievances, tributes, offers of debts to be heard?
We would like to pay our debt to your people by offering up our champion, Keith the Bloodless.
Oh, God.
Oh, you hear him moan.
Listen, he's very good.
Well, of course, we would help with this quest. Bring forth Tild the Cursed. Bring forth them.
And you just hear like the person outside who's controlling the undead dodo. Me?
Yes, you. Good luck.
And don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up.
The Wraithlight Dominion mourns in advance your vaunted champions.
Listen, they haven't even gone yet. Let's just see how they do.
It's never too soon to mourn.
Arguably, I think it probably is. You'll be alright, man. Get on it.
And we welcome and contribute our own champion.
A champion is born already in a coffin.
Hast thrice dead will lead this quest.
I believe Keith the Bloodless should lead the quest. He's clearly the most qualified.
Perhaps we should leave it to the champions to fight it out as to who is the leader of the quest.
I think that Keith is gonna win.
You just see Fennec looking to Tild, who's like bones shaking, like proper knees knocking, right? And you just see Fennec sort of get two fingers, point to their own eye sockets, and then point to Tild and back several times.
Should we complete our moves before we begin the minigame?
Yes, I think that's a good plan.
Fab. Risk everything to resolve a crisis. Reduce stability by 1, make a mark against the crisis, and roll plus lore.
Great, so make a mark against the crisis before you even roll.
Yep. Ooh. So that is a 6. Plus 1 is a 7. Ooh. On 7 to 9, reduce stability by 1 and mark the crisis as resolved.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
The Draugr get shit done.
They do.
No.
I'm going to be so
My roof's
annoying
still
at the
leaking.
next. So irritating. I'd be like, oh yeah, Logvic. Yeah, we dealt with that. It was fine. Skeletons, just do your best, right? Like, it's fine.
God damn it. That's really cross-making, but also very funny. All right, so yeah, arcane engineering. A rose-coloured skeleton trudges back to the skeletal duchy and is like, Skelly boys, Skelly gals, Skelly pals, to work! And then they all come down from the sky, and then they
We've
build...
just been for the last 6 months.
Yeah, of course they have. Yeah, the sky starts to sag a little bit, but we aren't looking at that anymore. And they sort of all form a forge, like all their bones sort of do it. And the heat from the sun we borrowed, in quotation marks, from the raves, we start to sort of throw bits and pieces in, and eventually Phoenix goes up and withdraws from a non-existent pocket a very small joint.
And then he smokes it.
Yeah. They look at it and they go, big kiss.
With their skeletal lips.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a clack clack, if anything. And they throw it into the forge to create this artifact. So now I roll plus lore, which is a +2. An 8 total. So on a 7 to 9, pick one. I create an artifact, mark 1 against the ritual, or increase hope by 1. I would like to mark against the ritual.
Incredible.
Yes.
4 of 6 against the ritual.
You boy.
As the tennis elbow goes in, it sort of burns up, and I go, damn it. Needed that.
Quest mini game.
Quest mini game. We have announced the quest. We have announced our champions.
Mm-hmm.
We now need to come up with 6 challenges that our champions are going to need to overcome in order to claim the artifact.
I believe that there is definitely like a boat portion.
Yeah.
There is a lake, and it's full of ghost sharks. Ghost Shark Lake.
Ghost Shark Lake.
I'll roll my first one, as I'm not that good. I need help. So that is, oh wow, that is a 6 and a 5. So an indecipherable tome. I think at some point maybe there is like a book which tells you where to go in this maze, but it is in a completely different. It's gobbledygook. Yeah, you're having to almost do the IKEA version of going, this thing goes in here and this thing goes in there, and
we're going into an ice labyrinth. There's got to be a Hall of Mirrors section.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Where our champions just don't know whether they're coming or going.
Yeah.
I would like there to be a treacherous oracle.
Ooh.
And she tells them of their futures.
But can she be trusted? And then she turns them into pigs.
I've just rolled a 2-1, so that is a vengeful guardian. So I think it is guarded by the possible body, or the sort of the thing
ice warrior.
Yes, 100% an ice warrior that sort of comes to life and is massive.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm going to roll for this one.
Yeah.
I rolled a cloistered druid, but I think that's a bit similar to treacherous oracle. If I flip those around, it's an ensnaring chorus. Ooh. I like that one.
Oh.
There is like a section where the ice rings like sort of wine glasses or crystals in a way that makes all of our champions think that they're hearing voices of their loved or hated ones, since we're evil, from their pasts.
Keith has a wife. It's fine.
Why is it weird that the Draugr are almost the most normal?
Yeah.
That's just because we've succeeded on our roles so far. Yeah. I'm going to be real with you.
It's so cross-making, but so funny. God damn it.
Now we have our challenges. Starting with the player with the highest stability. Ooh. I have 3.
That makes it you, because I think we both have 2.
Good luck.
Hast thrice dead, rising from the coffin to, they believe, lead this quest.
Okay.
They don't even hear the Draugr champions bluster. They simply serenely float down into the labyrinth, into the maddening echoes at the head of the party. and is going to attempt to overcome the lake full of ghost sharks.
Damn you.
Who better to fight ghost sharks
Than a
ghost champion?
Yeah, that seems fair.
And Hast's attempt to overcome the lake full of ghost sharks is simply to have the ghost sharks accept them as their shepherd and leader. I'm getting the sense that Hast is insufferable already, just from the little we know of them.
Yep.
Just floats serenely over the lake and goes, "My children, follow me. Become my minions. We are alike in spirit."
Keith the Bloodless is rowing the boat like, what the fuck?
So I think this is probably a roll plus influence, which I have 1 in. So 1d6 plus 1. And rolled a 1.
Oh no! Oh no!
On a 4 or below, the challenge is unresolved, my champion is broken, and my realm reduces stability by 1.
Uh-oh.
This is a risky quest. How is Hast broken by this? The sharks eat him.
We're in the boat watching this happen, like, oh my god! Ah!
Because this resolves who's leading the party.
Yeah.
This has been The Queen's Dead, a studio production from Merely Roleplayers, starring Fiona Howat as the Skeletal Duchy, Naomi Clarke as the Draugr Earldom, and Matt Boothman as the Wraithlight Dominion. The theme music is by Matt Boothman, who also edited and produced this episode. We were playing the beta version of Court of the Lich Queen by Ursidice, who you can find at ursidice.com. Merely Roleplayers is a Foggy Outline production in association with Blackshore Theatre Company. Until next time, if drama be the food of life, play on. Normal sharks are hungry for blood. Ghost sharks hungry for...
Ectoplasm?
Yes. Tears.
Hungry for destruction more than anything else. If you haven't seen Ghost Shark 2, I'd really encourage you to. It's a great film. I've been on a committee before. This is nothing.
It's true. I feel like I've been on this same committee with you.
Hey. I'm hot for the Lich Queen. Just in case, well, I say me, I mean Kriok, but also me a little bit.